Hello and welcome to Rathod Science Academy. Today in this session, we are going to see current affairs of 9th December 2025. So let's get started with our discussion. First of all, let us see the articles of the day, guys. The first article, it is about government opposition spat over Vande Mataram. So this article is talking about 150th anniversary of this song, guys. So there is a very high chance of getting question in your prelims regarding this Vande Mataram. So we are not going to see about what is this issue between this government's position and as well as opposition's parties, everything. So we are not going to discuss in that political issue. Just see about certain facts regarding this Vande Mataram song. And this topic is important from your history point of view, guys. And next topic, it is about Hornbills Festival. So we are going to conduct in this Nagaland, and it is 3 days festival, guys. And here, if you're getting this kind of festivals images in the news, obviously that will be very important from our culture point of view. So you can also expect one more question regarding this hornbill. It is a bird, or else they may directly ask a question regarding this hornbill festival in your prelims. You have to be very much careful. And next topic is AP government consults experts after 9 suspected scab typhus deaths. Actually, in AP, one disease it is spreading at a very fast rate, that is scab typhus. So because of this, you have to know about certain details regarding this disease. If you get any disease which is in news, you may get a prelims based question regarding that so and so disease, guys. And this is very important from your science and technology point of view. And next topic is fire count gives a skewed picture of stubble burning. So what are the images that you are seeing on the screen? It is about fire count. So here you have to see about what is this fire count, what does this word fire count means. And actually government is saying that from 2021 onwards, there is 90% of reducing of the stubble burning related things in Punjab region. But if you collect the satellite images, they are showing that only 30% of reduced stubble burning kind events which happen in this Punjab. That means there is a mismatch which is happening between this governments and as well as other data, guys. So here we have to see about what is fire count, and exactly here you have to see about what are the measures can we take to reduce the stubble burning in this Punjab and Haryana regions. And next topic is prison manuals must mandate disability related facilities. So as you all know that if anyone did any crime or any suspected, they will be put under the bars. They are nothing but the prisons. In our prisons, the major problem here is they are not according to this disabled people. What are the facilities which are there in prisons? They are not disabled friendly. So this article is talking about why they are not disabled friendly, what are the root causes, and it is saying about what can be done, that is way forward. And this topic is very important from your governance point of view, guys. And let us see each and every article in detail, and we are going to see from prelims and as well as mains point of view, and we are also going to see like how the question can be asked in mains and as well as prelims. And at last, I'm going to give you the prelims practice questions, guys. Online students, please don't skip this video. Okay, now let us see the first article. Look at the title. Read the title, guys. Government opposition spar over Vande Mataram. There is debate which is going on between our government and as well as opposition party leaders in Lok Sabha now. Now let us see what happened and what led to this kind of debates. And we have to see some basic facts regarding this Vande Mataram song, guys. Very, very important article. And for sure, in this year prelims, 2026 prelims, you are going to get question regarding this song for sure. So try to get to know each and every point regarding this Vande Mataram song, guys. Don't leave this part. If you see the context, it says that the debate in the Lok Sabha marks the 150th anniversary of Vande Mataram, India's national song, composed by whom? Bankim Chandra Chatterjee in year 1875, and first published in a journal called as Banga Darshan. Please remember the year. In 1875, it was composed by this Bankim Chandra Chatterjee, and it was first published in one journal called as Banga Darshan. And what happened here is in Lok Sabha session now, our Prime Minister initiated 10-hour special discussion, and in this discussion he highlighted about the song's role. What is the role of this song which played in this freedom struggle, particularly during this 1905, that is partition of Bengal, and as well as Swadeshi movement. During this movement, this song played a very important role to improve national unity feeling in the people. And what happened? Similarly, the same kind of the session is scheduled in Rajya Sabha also. The Rajya Sabha session is held by this Home Minister. And later on, slowly, whenever he is discussing about the importance of this song, the discussion quickly escalated into a political face-off. And now opposition members started saying certain things against this Prime Minister now. Finally, it became a debate in this Lok Sabha. If you see certain facts regarding this Vande Mataram, it is also pronounced as Bande Mataram, guys. It is composed by Bankim Chandra Chatterjee and published in journal called as Banga Darshan in year 1875, and later it included his immortal novel Anandamath. In this Anandamath also it had been included, but first published in this Banga Darshan journal. And set to music given by Rabindranath Tagore for this song, and it became a powerful symbol for India's culture, political, and as well as it embodied unity, sacrifice, and devotion. All these are the important components of this song. And if you see, this song got national status, but not entire song, but first two verses. It is very important. Not full song got this national song status. The first two verses were adopted in the year 1937 as India's national song by Congress Working Committee and had been recommended by Rabindranath Tagore. Rabindranath Tagore recommended to take this song as a national song, and he recommended first two verses. Here UPSC can ask entire song is taken as national song. No, it is first two verses only. On 24 January 1950, Dr. Rajendra Prasad, the first president of India, announced that Janagana Mana would be the national anthem, and also Vande Mataram also played a very important role during freedom struggle. So it is also going to be honored equally as national song. Who said this? Dr. Rajendra Prasad. And even in our Indian constitution does not explicitly mention a national song, but it is very important. So they will give a statement like Vande Mataram is a national song explicitly given in our constitution. No. So our constitution does not explicitly mention a national song. But Article 51A, subclass A, asks citizens to respect to constitution, national flag and national anthem. Only this fundamental duty is said about, yes, citizens has to respect. But nowhere in our constitution explicitly written that so and so song is a national anthem or national song. Okay, so these are the things that you have to remember, and these are the points they will be used by UPSC to make you trap. Okay, and now let us see the next article. Look at the title, guys. Shekhawat inaugurates 3-day Hornbill. Who is this person? Union Minister of Culture and Tourism. Union Minister of Culture and Tourism inaugurates how many days? 3 days Hornbill Festival in Nagaland. So here you may get one type of prelims question is, they will give you on one side, or they will give you box format. They will give festival's name on one side, at least 1, 2, 3 or 4. 3 or 4. On one side, they'll give state, in which state they celebrated. For example, here Hornbill, Nagaland, and significance. So they'll give in this box format, and they will ask you how many pairs are correct or which pairs are correct. 1 only pair, 2 only pairs, 3 only pairs, or 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3 and 4. So like that you will get questions like this. So this is the first format of questions will be used by UPSC for this kind of art and culture related questions. And the second type of question is, consider the following statements regarding Hornbill Festival. And they'll give you 2 to 3 statements, and they may ask which of the above statements are right or how many statements are right. So in these two ways the question can be asked. And even here we have Hornbill. Hornbill is a bird. So you may get a question regarding, consider the following statements regarding Hornbill. And regarding that Hornbill, they will give you 2 to 3 statements, and they may ask which of the above statements are right or wrong. Okay, so in this way, 3 types of UPSC questions can be framed from this article. You have to be very much careful, guys. Okay, now let us see this article. So this article is saying that our Union Minister of Culture and Tourism inaugurates this 3 days International Hornbill Festival, and now they are going to conduct this festival in Konyak Heritage Complex in Nagaland's Mon Town, and this time it will become 26th edition of this festival they are going to conduct in this Nagaland now. If you see certain facts regarding this Hornbill Festival, this Hornbill Festival is also referred as Festival of Festivals in Nagaland. So you may get one more question. Which of the following festival is considered as Festival of Festival? And they'll give you almost in this options A, B, C, D, they will give you like tribal festivals, folk festivals only. So at that time it will be like very difficult to identify. So this Hornbill Festival is called as Festival of Festivals in Nagaland because it showcases mainly the culture and as well as language and traditions of ethnic tribes of state. So because of this it is called as Festivals of Festival. And as you all know that northeastern part of India is very much famous for rich tribal diversity. So they are going to celebrate this festival of culture and as well as traditions of almost all tribes of the states. And it is an annual festival celebrated 10 days in the month of December, guys. And this festival is very important because it coincides with the statehood day of Nagaland. So when the statehood came to this Nagaland on December 1st, on this day itself, they will start this Hornbill Festival. So it coincides even with the tribes, culture, traditions, and as well as statehood day of Nagaland. So that is also one important thing that you have to remember. And it is named after one bird called as hornbill because this hornbill bird represents strength, vitality, and respect for culture. And this bird is also revered for its beauty, significance in local folklore, culture, customs, etc. guys. Okay, and the important features of this festival are like they'll go for exhibition of Nagaland tradition and they will sell Nagaland related arts and handicrafts in that festivals, and artisans will display their works like wood carvings, textiles and jewelry, and even this day will attract lots of tourists to see this kind of events, and they want to promote this cultural heritage, and as well as they will provide food, cuisine, music, architecture, dances, everything will be there as part of this festival, guys. And one important key highlight of this festival is this festival brings around 17 major tribes of that state in a single platform. We can see 17 different tribes of this Nagaland in their traditional attire on this day in this festival, guys. So it is one speciality. Okay, so if you see certain facts regarding this hornbill bird, it is a large bird and the length will be around 95 to 120 centimeters and the weight of this bird is around 3 kgs, guys. And it is characterized by yellow curved bill, and it will be mainly dependent on fruits. Because of this it is called as frugivorous. Frugivorous is the word that we'll use for the animals which will feed on fruits, and apart from fruits it can also eat small animals. And very important thing here is it is not only seen in India, it is also seen in Bhutan, Nepal, China, Thailand, Laos, Cambodia, Vietnam, Malaysia, Indonesia. That means South and Southeast Asian region we can see this bird, guys, not only in India. And in India we can see this bird in Western Ghats and as well as Eastern Himalayan regions, Northeastern and even some parts of Central India we can see this bird. And this bird is a state bird of Kerala and as well as Arunachal Pradesh, very important. Hornbill is a state bird of 2 states, Kerala and as well as Arunachal Pradesh. I'll show that image. Okay, Hornbill festival is celebrated in Nagaland. Okay, yeah, that's it, nothing more than that. And here you have to see about this conservation status. In this hornbill also we can see 9 different species of this hornbill. Out of them, 2 are considered as vulnerable, 1 is considered as endangered, others are like other category. Okay, not all these hornbills are like vulnerable, and they are getting protection under Appendix 1 under site, and they're also getting protection under Schedule 1 under Wildlife Protection Act. I'll show the image. Just a minute. This is that bird, hornbill. I think you might have seen. So here different types of hornbills will be there. So this is great hornbill. This yellow color, black is the great hornbill. Yeah, here if you see, there are lots of different color, different plumage, different kinds of beaks. So these are the different types of hornbills that we can see across the world, guys. Okay, see this next topic. AP government consults experts after 9 suspected scrap typhus deaths. The key word here is scrap typhus. Okay, here what you have to see whenever any disease which is in news is this is caused by which microorganism, whether it is bacteria, virus, protozoa, or any worms. And next you have to see the vector. Normally we'll see that mosquito is a normal vector and as well as house flies, sand flies. So here the vector is this. This is called as a vector. It's called as chigger. If this chigger bite happens, that will transmit this disease causing this typhus uh, bacteria actually. So this is the vector here in this case. And next you have to see whether do we have any treatment for that or not, and do we have any vaccine or not. From this COVID-19 pandemic onwards, many a times UPSC is asking question on prevention part. Do we have any vaccine for that disease or not? Because if there is any pandemic like that, like COVID-19, we need to urgently take certain steps to control this spread, right? So for that, what are the preventive measures we can take? The best preventive measure is vaccines. So here UPSC is focusing on vaccines for the diseases. Okay, you have to see even treatment options and vaccines are present or not. And this topic is very important from your GS paper 3 under science and technology. So here this disease is about scrap typhus. It is caused by bacteria called as Orientia sugusumashi. So I don't know how we'll pronounce. So this, remember this Orienta. Orientia is a bacteria which is causing this scrap typhus. And if this bacteria is affecting this chigger, and if this chigger is coming and biting you, then that bacteria will be transmitted into your body, guys. So here this chigger is the vector which is causing this scrap typhus. And what will be the symptoms after this bacteria entering into your body? After such an incubation period, you will slowly get fever, muscle pains, cough, and even gastrointestinal symptoms, liver, spleen enlargement, meningitis, and finally death in the severe cases. So these will be the signs and symptoms. And to treat this bacteria, we have antibiotics. We commonly use this doxycycline. Doxycycline is antibiotic that we can use to kill this bacteria in our body. Apart from that, based on the signs and symptoms, we have to give symptomatic relief. In that symptomatic relief, if you go to any hospital, if you're joining the hospital, first what they'll do, they will provide fluids into your body. They will give salines, right? And apart from that, they will try to give certain supportive measure. If you are complaining about fever, they'll give paracetamol. If you're complaining about muscle pains or body pains, they'll give painkiller. So like that, they will give supportive measure, and the drug which is used to kill that bacteria is doxycycline. And this one is where this chigger stays. So here you have to know where this insect lives, so that we can try to go to that place so that we can avoid this bites. First one is moist areas, grassy areas like fields, even in forest, even in lawns, lake areas and streams, wherever we have this wet areas. And especially now, we are having this winter season, right? Normal in the winter season, early morning times, we can get this fog, mist, everything. So that even we can see like lots of wetty areas, the places where we are living, like even in the balcony, even our windows, on our vehicles, is right. So because of this, nowadays there is increased presence of this chigger in different areas, even in our households. So because of this, there is increasing of this bite of chiggers is happening in this AP, guys. And this one here is Adult chiggers, they do not bite, but the baby chiggers will bite at the larval stage, that you have to watch out. And these chiggers also, adult will not bite, only the baby. Normally, you know that if anyone has to become an adult, it has to come across with the different stages. For example, egg stage, larval stage, pupal stage, and adult stage, right? In adult, this chiggers will not bite, only in the larval stage baby chiggers will bite, guys. And they are red, orange, or yellow, or straw colored, and not more than 0.3 mm in length. So you can understand like how much small size it is. It is very difficult even for the elderly people to identify that insect on their body. Okay, but after this bite, it can cause a typhus, and it may also cause deaths. And in AP, around 9 deaths had been recorded, guys. Okay, now let us see some other details. What is about treatment and prevention? There is no vaccine available to prevent this Krabs typhus. So you may get a question like this. Consider the following statements regarding this Strep typhus. The first statement is, it is caused by virus belonging to this Orientia. Is that right or wrong? Is it caused by bacteria or virus? Bacteria. And next one is, they may ask question like, it is not a fatal disease. Is that right? If this infection happens in extreme condition, it may leads to the loss of life. That means it is fatal. This is also wrong statement. And they may ask like, there is a vaccine present to prevent this scrub typhus. Do we have any vaccine? No. So in this way, you have to analyze the statements clearly. So this is pure, this kind of questions will be purely based on your memory, guys. Science and technology, you need to focus on your memory and mugging up of facts. There is no choice. But other topics like polity and as well as your geography, you can solve that questions based on your observation as well as conceptual clarity. But science and technology, that can be done only with your memory. You have to mug up the facts. There is no choice for this science and technology. Okay, next one here is, if someone gets infected by scrub typhus, they should be treated with antibiotic called as doxycycline. Okay, so these are the two important points that you have to remember, guys. And now let us see the next article. Look at the title. Fire count gives a skewed picture of stubble burning. Have you heard about this fire count anywhere till today? No. So if you're getting that kind of words, UPSC has a tendency to ask question on that. In prelims, how they'll ask question is, recently fire count is seen in news. What it does means. And they'll give you directly ABCD options, and they will ask you to pick up one option. If you go through the previous year's questions, every year there will be 2 questions related to this type of questions. Recently seen in news, what it does mean. Or else, recently seen in news, what it is. Or this word is seen in ancient history or medieval history, what it means. Okay, like that, UPSC has a tendency to ask this kind of questions. You can check minimum 2 questions will be there in that. So if you are seeing that kind of questions, what your conscience will say is just ABCD, let us pick one. Let us pick one. If it is right, I'll be getting 2 marks. But if you get wrong, what happens? Again, minus, negative marking, right? So that kind of questions will look easy for you in examination hall, but they will be like very difficult to address or to answer that questions. So if you're 100% sure, then only you have to go with that kind of ABCD questions, guys. Okay. So now let us see what is fire count and what this article is about. As you all know that stubble burning is a major problem in Punjab, Haryana and Western UP. What is the meaning of stubble burning? So after harvesting of crop, whatever the waste which is left over, that is called as stubble or that is called as paroli, right? So what happens here in this Punjab, Haryana and Western UP? There will be a very less time to go for sowing of next plant. The harvesting time and this transplanting or sowing time will be like around hardly 15 to 20 days. In that 15 to 20 days, if farmers has to go for clearing everything, means it will take a lot of time, so that they will miss the season. So what they'll do is just they will go for burning of this stubble, guys. They won't gather this or they won't go for using of this stubble for animal husband or whatever it may be. Just they'll go for lighting of a fire on that, so that they can clear the land easily, so that they can start their sowing process. Because of this, what happened, that will releases more PM 2.5 and as well as pollutants into atmosphere. As you all know that we have wind system. So wind system, we have permanent system and as well as local winds. So because especially in this winter season, so this pollutants will be carried to this Delhi region. So because of this, it will causes deterioration or poor air quality in this Delhi region, that will lead to this increasing of pollution in this Delhi region. So because of this, what happened now? Central government and as well as governments of Punjab, Haryana and as well as UP, they took lots of steps to control this stubble burning. They started taking steps enormously from this 2021. And now government came up with a report that 90 to 91 percentage of reduction of this stubble burning is happening in this Punjab, Haryana region. So that is a government's report. But if we take the satellite reports or satellite data and other data, while counting this fire counts, now we can understand that only 30% of reduction of this stubble burning happened from 2021. That means there is a lots of gap or lots of change which can see between this government's reports and as well as other private company report. So because of this is in news case. So now let us see about exactly where they collected data, and you have to make a notes of science and technology related tools that used to collect this fire counts, and you have to make a note what this fire count means. Okay, Environment Ministry repeatedly claimed that fire counts in Punjab and Haryana fell by 92% and 90%. That means 92% reduction in Punjab region and 90% reduction in this Haryana region since 2021. But the data from different satellites were used to compute other parameter called as burnt area, and this actual data is saying that only there is reduction of 30%, not 92%, not 90%. Okay, you know about what is stubble burning, right? It is a practice of setting off fire to crop residue after harvesting. That is called as stubble burning. Normally, in which season or which months the stubble burning happens? In the month of October and November. Because of this, it contributes air pollution in this Indo-Gangetic plains, especially in this National Capital Territory region, that is Delhi. Why? Because there is increasing of carbon dioxide emissions and as well as increasing of PM 2.5 and as well as black carbon and even other pollutants concentration in the air. Okay, write down what are the fire counts. Fire counts are satellite derived estimates of active fires detected via thermal infrared sensors. By using this thermal infrared sensors, we are deriving satellite based data of live fires or active fires. Okay, so how many active fires are happening, and we are identifying by using satellites and as well as thermal infrared sensors. Okay, this is called as fire counts case. In India, we rely on data from which satellites? We are using polar orbiting satellites. Do you know what are these polar orbiting satellites? What are these polar orbiting satellites, guys? If you take this as Earth, 90 degrees north is called as North Pole, right? And 90 degrees south is called as South Pole. If we are launching any satellite in orbits, in different orbits, so this will be moving here. Only it will be moving from North Pole to South Pole or South Pole to North Pole. If they are moving in this direction, this kind of satellites are called as polar orbiting satellites. Okay, they will move in this direction. North Pole to South Pole or South Pole to North Pole, whatever it may be, it will be covering this poles. Normally we think that they will move in this direction, right? Around equator, around the Tropic of Cancer or Tropic of Capricorn, like that. But this polar orbiting satellites will orbit from one pole to another pole, guys. So we are using this polar orbiting satellites like NASA's MODIS. Please make a note, NASA's MODIS satellite. And this one is VIIRS satellites to get this data of fire counts. So here you may expect one more prelims based question. Which of the following are polar orbiting satellites? And they'll give you 2 to 3 or 4 to 5, and they may ask one only, 1, 2, 3, 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5, like that, whatever it may be. They'll give this kind of questions. So here, while reading your science and technology, you have to make the list of different satellites: polar satellites, low Earth orbit satellites, middle Earth orbit satellites, and even you have to know Earth observation satellites and navigation satellites, whatever it may be. You have to make a clear-cut notes case. Clear? And next one here is, let us see what are the measures we can take, and this measures part will be helpful for writing your mains case. And I gave short-term measures, medium-term measures, long-term measures clearly. And this measures, if you are reading properly, even you can get a case study in your ethics case, because it is a major problem. So you may get a case study like your district magistrate in nearby area or in Punjab or Haryana. So you are getting lots of reports regarding increasing of stubble burning cases. What kind of measures you will take, or what will be your options? So then you can use this kind of short-term measures and long-term measures and medium-term measures to answer such kind of case studies. So if you say the short term, that means from 2025 to 2027, you can take this step so that you can get immediate results. So what are the steps? The first one here is, we have to increase or provide happy seeder or super seeder machines to this villagers, so that what happens, they'll go for proper harvest, they'll not go for burning. And next one here is, we have to add new machines annually. Every year we have to add certain new machines, because what are the machines which are provided by the government is not enough. So we have to go for increasing of number of machines. And we have one decomposer called as Pusa decomposer. This Pusa decomposer, what we'll do is, we will be adding that material in some water, and just we'll go for spraying of that water on this on this whatever we say, whatever the waste we have. So within 5 to 7 days, that will be decomposed completely by this Pusa. So government can provide this Pusa decomposers to the farmers, so that they can spray easily, so that they will not go for this kind of burning. And next one here is, we can go for cash incentives for every farmer who does not burn. So if one farmer is getting incentive, obviously he will tell that to the 10 farmers, so that what happens, government can provide incentives for the farmers, so that they will not go for this kind of burning of stubble. And next one is, we have to go for strict enforcement. If even the farmers are not listening, we have to go for strict enforcement. Enforcement is nothing but implementation plus punishment. And next one here is, we have to go for new biomass collection centers. Okay, and even, do you know what are these balers? So we can use certain equipment, so that whatever the waste which had been there, that will be converted into bales, so that we can easily store them. We can provide balers also, balers related equipment to the farmers. And this one here is, we can provide a guarantee of around 2,200 to 2,500 per ton procurement price for paddy straw. What are the waste of this paddy will be there? It's called as paddy straw. For that also, government can provide certain amount, so that government can buy that. Okay. And next, in the medium term, we can go for 100% mechanized sowing. The problem here is, in Punjab and Haryana, people will go for manual sowing of wheat after this season of paddy. So we can go for mechanized. Whenever we are going for this mechanized sowing, obviously the time taken for the sowing will be obviously reduced. Even there is reduced burden on the humans also. So we can go for this mechanized sowing. And this one is, we have to shift electricity or fertilizer subsidy partially to direct no burn cash reward. So if people who are not going for the burning only, they should get this subsidy of electricity or subsidy of fertilizer, so that we can change attitude of the people. And this one is, we have to go for operationalizing of all our 2G ethanol plants. You know, ethanol is produced from the waste, right? So we have to make more number of plants into operational in this Punjab, Haryana and UP areas, so that farmers obviously divert their paroli to this ethanol plants. And this one is, we have to increase biomass co-firing in thermal power plants. In thermal power plants, we will go for burning of coal. Apart from this, we can also use this paroli. What happens? We can go for increasing of production of energy there. And this one is we have to make MSP, PM Kisan, loan waiver, crop insurance for no burn certificate. If you are getting this no burn certificate, then only you will get all these things. If you are keeping this kind of links, obviously we can bring change in the people's attitude. And we have to expand basmati and short duration paddy varieties so that they will be having extra time for going for cleaning off or clearing of the stubble. And we have to go for improved biodecomposers. We can encourage these private companies to come up with this kind of PUSA decomposers, more availability of this kind of decomposers, then people will use that more. And this one here is long term. In long term, we can go for turn paddy straw into cash crop. So here government has to procure that even straw also from these farmers of these areas. And we have to create sustained industrial demand like ethanol, paper, packaging, mushroom, animal feed, etc. And even we can go for diversification of crops, not only going of this wheat and paddy, we have to promote other crops in this Punjab, Haryana region. And we have to go for soil organic carbon through permanent residue retention plus organic farming. As you all know that whenever we are using this green revolution, whenever we are going towards this green revolution, or whenever you're going for increasing of use of pesticides, herbicides, etc., that will be having impact on the soil fertility. So rather than that, we can promote this organic farming in this region, and we can go for decomposing of the waste in their land itself so that it will revitalize the soil fertility. Okay, so these are the things that we can take, guys. And these are the measures that you can use directly in your ethics and as well as your mains answer. And say this article, guys, carceral culture, prison manuals must mandate disability related facilities. So have you been to prison, anyone? Just to watch. Just to watch. Not to stay there, just to watch. So what will comes into your mind if I say prison? I think you might have seen many movies. In that movies, they will be showing about how they will wash their clothes, how they will stay in the queue to get the food, about their washrooms, about their living conditions, about the works they'll do in this jails, everything, you know, right? So whatever the facilities that you are saying, whether they are like disabled friendly prisons are not there, jails are not there in our country. So that is the one issue which is mainly highlighted by this article, guys. If our prisons are not disabled friendly, can what happen? Can we ensure their rights? Article 21 talks about right to life and personal liberty. If prisons are not providing this disabled friendly facilities, can we ensure Article 21 for them? No, that is about this article, guys. So now let us see the context. This editorial highlights the systemic failures in Indian prisons because they are not providing disabled friendly facilities, guys, like accommodations. Even though our government came up with one law which is protecting this disabled people is Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act. Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act 2016 we came up. But even though from this 2016 onwards, now we are in 2025, it is around 9 years, right? But nowhere there is improving of facilities for disabled people. Not only in prisons, even the public places also. Even if you see these buses or autos, public transport system or metros, are they disabled friendly? No. So here that is the one important problem which is highlighted in this article is. So prisons comes under state subject. They often rely on, normally whatever the manuals that we are relying on in prisons, they are outdated manuals. And these manuals are assuming that all prisoners are physically able-bodied and ignoring the needs for accessible information, infrastructure, screening, support for those physical, mental or intellectual disabilities. Whatever the disabilities may be, it may be physical disabilities or mental disabilities or intellectual disabilities. So there is no proper accessible infrastructure, screening and support for these disabled people in India. If you see the root causes, already if you see about these prisons, they were encoded during this Britishers' time. So we have social hierarchies from this colonial and post-colonial rules. So because of this, we are not focusing on rights violation here. Already they did crimes. Why we have to focus on their rights? So this is the idea on which our prison manuals are there from our colonial period time onwards. But here we have RPWD Act, that is Rights of Persons with Disabilities Act of 2016, which says that support for all services under state control, because we have Article 14, it talks about right to equality. That means we should not discriminate them. Everyone is equal. So everyone should have equal protection of law. All are equal before the law, Article 14. And this one is Article 21, talks about right to life with personal liberty of our constitution. But our prisons comes under the state jurisdiction, which is clashing with union, that is central government led advisories that lead to inconsistent implementation. Even union government is coming with lots of updations in the prison manuals, but ultimately this prison comes under the state government. So there is inconsistent implementation of rules and regulations or advisories given by the central government in this prisons case. And actually states they are prioritizing punitive or security expansion compared to that of rights-based focus. What is the way forward which is given in this article here is, first one is now both central government and as well as state governments, they have to update manuals and they have to come up with disability accommodations, like we have to come up with ramps. Do you know these ramps? Rather than steps, we can come up with ramps and as well as braille signage. So if people who are not able to see properly, blind people need to have this braille signage. And next one is assistive devices. For example, if people who cannot hear properly, they need to have some hearing aids. So like that, we have to come up with disability accommodations and routine screening at admission, and as well as individualized support plans we have to come up. And second important point said in this article is we have to redesign prison budgets and we have to allocate more budgets for the prisons to come up with this accessible infrastructure for this people with disabilities. And we have one scheme called as prison accessibility scheme. Under that, government has to improve its allocation for this accessible infrastructure. And next one is we have to go for mandate independent inspections. Who has to do that? National Human Rights Commission. National Human Rights Commission will focus on ensuring of human rights of the people. So for that, here they have to do proper regular inspections and audits. And we have to go for routine publication of NCRB data regarding caste or disability intersections and as well as people with disability in this prisons, guys. And as well as we have to train our prison staff on RPWD Act, that is nothing but People with Disabilities Act. According to this act, what are the provisions are there? We have to train our jail staff or prison staff, because already the problem here is overcrowding of jails are happening. In this overcrowding of jails, the people with no disabilities are facing problems. But what about these people with disabilities? They'll be facing lots of discrimination. So here we have to train this staff of prisons, and we have to promote even community legal aid for disabled peoples through NGOs or any other schemes case. Okay, so these are some important points which said by this article regarding the way forward for providing accessible infrastructure for this people with disabilities in our prisons. Okay, now let us see the questions. Look at the questions. Read the statements carefully. With reference to India's national symbols, which of the following statements is or are correct? Vande Mataram has been given equal status with national anthem Jana Gana Mana by the Constitution of India. Think. Constitution of India is the keyword here. Okay, next one. The first two stanzas of Vande Mataram were adopted as a national song in 1950. Option B is the right answer. Okay. So like that, don't confuse. In examination hall, you will be having anxiety, everything, but your presence of mind is very important to identify that kind of statements. If you are reading half statement also, like you will not come to a conclusion whether that statement is right or wrong. So read complete statement. Don't read half and yeah, it is right. Don't go with that kind of conclusion. Okay, see this question, guys. Consider the following statements about hornbills in India. All hornbill species are listed in Schedule 1 of Indian Wildlife Protection Act 1972. The great hornbill is only hornbill species classified as vulnerable on IUCN Red List. Hornbills are called farmers of forest because they play a role in seed dispersal of many tropical tree species. Which of the above statements are correct? So if you are getting any doubt regarding the statements, see the options. After seeing options, again go to the statements and read once again. Here you will be having certain words that you can identify in every statements. So if that words are there, 99% of that statement will be wrong. So here we have all means general or specific. So always we have specific statements and general statements. General statements will be always right, but specific statements will be wrong. Okay, so all means I said there are lots of hornbill species. I showed you image also. All this comes under this category? No, only some may be there. So in that way you can eliminate this first statement. The great hornbill is only hornbill. Idokkate unda, only like vulnerable. Maybe others also. Why only this great hornbill? It is also wrong. Actually, there are 2 to 3 species of this hornbill comes under this vulnerable category. And this one is hornbills are called as farmers of the forest because they play a crucial role in seed dispersal of many tropical species. Yes, as I said, these hornbills are frugivorous. Frugivorous is nothing but eating of fruits. So after eating fruits, in that fruits we have seeds. So in that shit, what happened? It will be spreading the seeds. So because of that, it's called as farmers of forest. In that way, you have to analyze the statements. Nowhere it is written like this farmers of forest, but this bird is based on this frugivorous. That means it will eat fruits. Fruits means fruits always will have seeds. Seed dispersal happens, right? So in that way, you have to use your knowledge for analyzing the statements. In prelims, direct statements will not come for sure. But what are the knowledge you have? Try to use that to analyze the statements. You have to increase your analyzing power, guys. So what is the answer now? Answer is B3 only. Okay, like that you have to analyze the statements. So these are the important topics that happened in our today's Hindu newspaper, guys. By this I'm concluding. And please do give your review about our academy, our Hindu analysis, or if you have any direct contact with us regarding your experience, please give the Google review. The link is given in description box. So please don't comment in the comment box. So please do click this review link which is given in this description box, and please do read there and give your review there, guys, not in the comment box. And one more thing here is you can follow us on our Telegram channel where we are providing class notes in PDF format, and as well as we are providing mains question, and as well as one more prelims question with answer, and as well as current affairs shorts in our Instagram page. So please do follow us there as well, guys. Thank you so much for watching. And if you have any suggestions, please do drop your suggestions in the comment box.